Всем привет! I'm happy to see you on my channel, and today I would like to make a video about my favorite museums and restaurants in Saint Petersburg city, because I remembered that when I was making a video about Moscow, I told about some museums and restaurants which I liked, but when I made a video about Saint Petersburg, I made a video just about our night walk and didn't tell anything about the museums, for example, about the eating places. And to tell you the truth, I was thinking, should I actually make this video or not, because I understand that nowadays almost no one is going to come here, or even if they want, they can't, because it's expensive. There are almost no flights and they are very expensive. It's difficult to get visa. There are some difficulties from the Russian side, some bureaucracy or something else. There are problems with internet, with connections, sometimes it's actually not safe. And yeah, I was thinking if I should do this video or not, because even if I tell this information, I don't know, will it actually be actual after some time, and after what time. But anyway, I decided to tell about this because it's like my impressions, and maybe anyway somehow this information can be interesting or useful for someone. I'd like to tell that I prefer not to tell about some really famous museums which are like well known, or which are included in each tour program if you come to St. Petersburg. So I prefer to tell about some smaller museums, and also I don't really like some classy museums which are old, which are just, you know, pictures hanging on the wall of some palace and that's it. I don't like such kind of museums. I prefer the modern ones where there is some stuff you can interact with, some multimedia stuff, or at least it combines somehow with classy museum style. So I like to tell about something like this, because about famous museums, of course, I think if you just Google about St. Petersburg, it will be the first information you will see, you will find, and each tour suggests you these museums. Let's begin from museums, I guess, and then come to the restaurants. I made a list, but it's not a rate. There are no like first, second places, so I just wrote them down as I remembered. So it's not like top from 1 to something. Also, I need to tell that for some museums I don't have photos, because I visited them some times ago, and for some reason we didn't make photos, or we just didn't keep them for some reason. So for some I have photos, for some I took them from the internet just to illustrate, to give an illustration to my words. The same with the restaurants. And also, of course, even to now, I have been in these places like year or several years ago, and of course something may have been changed. So even if you be here somehow, if you want to go there, please check all the information, because something could be different now, or of course in the future. But at least I checked the reviews, nowadays reviews, and the reviews are still good. The places which I like, the reviews are still good, so that was nice to see. So let's finally begin. The first museum I remembered is the State Museum of Optics. It's located on Vasilievsky Island, which is an island nearby city center. It's just a couple of subway stations from the very city center, and something like 15 minutes by foot from there. I like that this museum has got as a classy part, which is actually not really big, and interactive part, where you can see some unusual optic effects, or you can somehow interact with exhibits, you can see some optical illusions, and so on. So the museum actually is not really big. So on the one hand is big, but not enormous, and in somehow the museum is in some way the museum is simple, but I think that it was made with some love and enthusiasm and real wish to show some optical illusions and some physical how to say it, physical rules of physics. Some exhibits are really interesting and unique. As I remember, when I was there the last time, there was an audio guide, English and Russian. You also could take an excursion there. I mean, a tour guide. It was possible to take it in English, but you needed to book it. So not just come and this day they'll give you it. Also, you of course could walk by yourself. I hope that now it's English speaking friendly completely. If you go without tour guide, without audio guide, for example, and just by yourself. But the museum is quite nice, and I would recommend you to visit. Of course, it's not, again, as I said, some huge enormous museum with very huge budget, but it's small but really nice, and I guess with their budget they made it, as I said previously, with love and enthusiasm, and you obviously can check it. The second one is Fabergé Museum. I don't know if you heard about Fabergé jewelry, Fabergé X. Well, you probably heard, but I'm not sure, of course, that was a jewelry brand in Russian Empire, like in the 19th century, maybe in the very beginning of 20th century too. And the Fabergé Museum, it's in the very city center, like couple of minutes from Nevsky Prospect, which is the main street, and there are the museum is private, so it's very rich, as I saw it. So I mean, the renovation is quite well, the building is cool, and the halls so everything is interesting. The exhibits, this jewelry, Fabergé eggs. I've been there with a tour guide, because if I'm not mistaken, now it's impossible to go there without a tour guide, but better to check. It's better to check. And also you need to book a visit now, if I'm not mistaken. Well, now, I mean, the last time I checked it, and it also was pretty long time ago, so now I don't know. But I've been with a guide. There were different languages guide, so of course in English, maybe even not just in English. And so it was not a problem, but probably now you can't go without a tour guide. So if you don't like such kind of visiting, then probably, you better not to go there. But the museum is beautiful, interesting. The exhibits are beautiful, interesting. Mostly if you like jewelry, I think it's really for you. The next museum is the Museum of the History of Religion Museum. I don't really remember, but I found it pretty interesting, and not only many people whom I in touch with, they love this museum, they loved it, they visited it many times, and to tell you the truth, I don't know how is it really English friendly, but I believe yes, there are at least some inscriptions and maybe tours and maybe audio guides at least. So it's just dedicated to different religions, and it was very, very cool hall of Nirvana, and the halls dedicated to Buddhism. There are also, as far as I know, different exhibitions there every time, so you can visit it too. It's also located pretty close to Nevsky Prospect, so in the very city center. So if you want, you also can visit it if you are interested in this topic. The next museum is the name of the museum and the topic may scare away some people, but actually it's really cool and really interesting, and I would never go there if I if my friend didn't recommend it to me, because it's Museum of Political History of Russia, and it sounds pretty boring. It sounds pretty like something which is not interesting for many people. But actually, the museum, I would say, it's much more than its name. It really tells about the how to say it, cultural history of Russia and life in Russia, and it's interactive, it's multimedia, and it's very big, it's modern, so it's super cool. And when I visited it, it was not expensive at all. Well, of course, maybe the prices can be different for Russian citizens and non-Russians, I don't know. But it was cool, and I loved it. I was impressed. I didn't expect, and I think many people, they don't expect much about from a museum with this name. But I would say that the workers of museum who created it, they made a really, really great job. So yeah, it's quite nice. The next one is the Museum of Soviet playing automats. I forgot to check this word. I write it down. I think this museum can be really interesting for foreigners, because the museum is dedicated to all the Soviet play machines, and it's a collection. There are real old machines. They collected, restored, and you can buy like coins there and play, and also you can take a tour there. By the way, this museum is also located in Moscow too, so you also can visit it in Moscow, as I remember. So yeah, it's really cool, because you can like a little bit feel the atmosphere of Soviet Union, and play different playing machines. And also there were some special machine with Soviet lemonades, which are very popular in Soviet Union, where you can put a coin and get lemonade. And I didn't try, but they claim that it tastes really like in Soviet Union, so you can try. It's in the city center, maybe like 10 minutes. The longest is 10 minutes walk aside from Nevsky Prospect, so also if you wish, you really can try to visit it. The next museum is optional, because it's located not in city center, and moreover it's located very far away. It's actually located on the way out of the city, and it is such a far distance from city center. They don't even have subway there, so we were on car, so we went there. But if you don't want to go there just for this museum, I absolutely understand it, because actually it's nothing to see there. I mean, if you are not interested in usual, as we call it in Russia, sleeping district, so it's just located in sleeping district. Sleeping district we call in Russia a suburb or district where people just live. So it means that there are some cultural things, seasides and all that stuff. So people just live there. Maybe there are some cafes, shops, but it's not like district for tourists. But if you want to see, of course you can come. But actually the only museum is there, but it's very cool. It's called Pramusar. It's the museum of how to say it. It's a museum of littering, of how to interact with litter, about litter recycling, and maybe the interesting thing that, of course, it's concentrated on Russia. So how it works in Russia, and actually how it doesn't work in Russia. That everything is pretty bad actually with Russia. And litter recycling. But the museum also is very interesting. It's very interactive, very cool, and I loved it. So if you want to go, if you feel lazy, or you don't want to waste time and energy to have such a long way, or I don't know, you don't feel you want to waste money on taxi, for example, or I don't know, then you cannot go there. You won't like lose some great opportunity. But if you are interested, you can visit it. It's pretty nice. But if you don't really want to, don't go, because maybe you find that it's nothing special, and I recommend it it to you, and you made such a long way. So, okay, just as you wish. But we really loved it, and the reviews are great. So, not just we loved it. So yeah. And in the end, I think two classy places which are included in all tours, but just I find it nice too. So I think that I can tell about this. The first one is Peter Paul's Cathedral, but how to say it? It's located on an island. It's one stop from subway stop from Nevsky Prospect. Then you need to have a walk, maybe, I don't know, at least 7-10 minutes. And it's an island which old architecture of 18th century. There is a cathedral, there are different museums, many of them, there is a small beach, there are different interactive stuff. So I don't really like museums there or something, or this cathedral. It's just nice to walk there, firstly because it's car-free island, and it just has got some nice atmosphere of this old architecture, its own vibe, and if you want you can check it. And also there was a museum of the history of Saint Petersburg. When I visited the first time I liked it, but when I visited it second time I found it pretty too much classy and maybe boring, but it really shows very well the domestic life of ancient, not ancient, I mean, like 17th, 18th, 19th century of St. Petersburg, maybe, so the history of St. Petersburg. And if you are interested in this, it's pretty nice, but of course, I think, yeah, maybe it's English friendly because it's a touristic place. I guess somehow it's English friendly anyway. So if you wish, you can visit it. If you don't wish, you can just walk there. It's just a nice, interesting place to walk. And the last one is not a museum, it's a city view space. It's Isakivsky Cathedral, also very close to Nevsky Prospect. And there is a cathedral. You can go inside if you are interested in this old cathedral's vibe, the vibe of religion, but you also can just buy a ticket here and go by ladder. It's pretty high, if you're okay with that, up. And there is a, how to say it, space, so you can observe the city from the high point. And yeah, you can have it there. Also, there is another tower. I forgot I forgot its name. I'll write down. It's very close to subway station Nevsky Prospect, just opposite. And also there you also can go up and observe the city view. So yeah, two places I know where you can do this. So it's just about see the city. I like seeing the cities. If it's there is an option, if you can do it, why not? So we finished with museums for now, and now I would like to recommend you some restaurants. The thing here is that you probably would love me to recommend you some Russian cuisine restaurants, but the thing is that as Russian, of course, I'm not really interested to go in Russian restaurants by myself, because it's like my cuisine and I can see it every day, everywhere. So yeah, the thing is that I can recommend you the restaurants, but they won't be actually with Russian cuisine. The only one, I think I'll just say it in the very beginning, the only one with Russian cuisine, which probably you can visit, it's out of the city, it's in a suburb, but it's a touristic suburb. It's called Pavlovsk. There is a huge park and there are palaces, so tourists are actively coming there. There are tours, bus tours. Also, you can easily get there even without car. You can have a train from city center. It's like 30 minutes. And it's located, okay, not really close, but you can walk there by foot from the station. And it's a huge restaurant. It's called Podvorye. It's like a big wooden house. They have their own little farm with chickens and all that stuff. And the interior is very Russian style. It's very touristic restaurant, but the food there, when I was there, it was nice, and it's really Russian cuisine. So this is which I can recommend. The one which is in city center, I wanted to go there once, but I wasn't there. It's called Petrov Vodkin. It's Russian artist, the beginning of 20th century artist. And the restaurant is dedicated to Russian cuisine and to his pictures. It's designed in the style of this artist's pictures. But I wasn't there, so the reviews are okay, and but I can't give you any of my own impression. Also, I know some Russian cuisine restaurants, but they are also in suburbs. They are also like houses with some farms, territories, but I think you won't go there because, well, it's just pretty far, and why, what for? So, okay, let's just talk about this too, and that's it. And the other ones, which I loved, for example, I really loved a restaurant which is called Ocuba. It's a Cuban cuisine, and I love the atmosphere. I love the cuisine. There was a Latin waitress. It's really cool. There was a musician, so we went there in the evening time, and really there was a musician, Latin American musician, who just played guitar and sang in Spanish, and it gave so much to the atmosphere because, you know, when I come to some restaurants and they turn on some pop music, which is just not related to the theme of the restaurant, it's so strange because music gives so much. And actually, that just this one musician, you can just hire just one musician, give some money to them, and it gave so much impression. So it was really cool, really atmospheric. He sang really well, and the food was cool. I loved the food. It was in some way simple, but it was tasty and interesting and cool anyway. And I think the atmosphere also is really, really great. So I loved it. The other restaurant, my husband really likes it, and it's just opposite on the other side of the street from Ocuba, but it's Mexican restaurant. It's called Tres Amigas. We've been there several times because my husband really loved it. I also found the cuisine is a bit simple, but it was tasty also, and the interior was nice, the staff was nice. So also, if you're interested, you can visit it. They all are in the city center. It's again like, okay, not 5 minutes from Nevsky Prospect, but it's in the city center, so you easily can reach there if you are in the city center. The next one is also in the city center. It's called Tandoori Nights. It's an Indian restaurant, and it's really, really Indian. So all the stuff there is Indian, and the food. I made a mistake because when we were there, I don't eat spicy food, and they asked us, "Do you want it spicy, a little bit spicy, or no spicy?" And my husband, he actually eats spicy food, and we decided to make a compromise and ask a little spicy. So because we took some dishes we ate together, and because when it's just really, really little, okay, but I didn't thought that a little spicy for Indians, it's super spicy for me. So unfortunately, it was really spicy, but I understand that it's like my mistake. So because I heard about it many times, I just forgot. But in general, food was good. The quality of food was good. The dishes were interesting. The interior was different, interesting. The stuff was really cool, really, really cool. So I also can recommend this restaurant. Just be careful if you are like me with spicy food. And 3 more restaurants which I like as for their desserts. So there are also a food, so you could have usual food there too, but I just took a dessert there, and the atmosphere and places, the interiors just were interesting. The first one is called Minerals. It's pretty posh restaurant. It's located also pretty close to Nevsky Prospect. They create very interesting desserts shaped as different minerals, gemstones, and so on. They are very beautiful, and they are quite tasty. The interior is nice, the stuff is nice, so also if you want, you can go there, you can try, and also you can have, of course, usual food there too. It's just pretty expensive, so we had just a dessert there. Also, there is a place which is called Забыли Сахар, which is translated like forgot sugar. I thought it's because the desserts there are no sugar, but they are, so I don't know why it's called like that. But the interior there is very nice, so it's like pink. There is this cloud, and everything is nice, and the desserts are nice. Also, they are made like in the shape of some fruits, yeah, berries, and they are also pretty tasty. And also you can have some usual food there too if you want. It's 2 stations by subway from Nevsky Prospect, and also you have you need to have a walk by foot, I think maybe 15 minutes. But if you want, you can try. But if you want, you can. And also, if you want to see the next neighborhood to the city center, also you can do this. They also have a small like filial on Nevsky Prospect, but it's just small and without this interior. So I haven't actually been there. I just know that it exists, but I didn't really want to go there because I wanted to go to that one with that interior. And the last one, it's also located the same subway station where the previous one. The subway station is called Petrogradskaya. But it's just opposite from the subway, very close. You just need to find it because it's on the like courtyards. And the cafe on the one hand is simple somewhere, but it's located in Orangeria. And it's very interesting because it's a greenery there, it's all like glass walls, and it's nearby theater. So for one wall, you actually somehow can see a theater. And there we add some waffles, some desserts, and also they have food there. So yeah, it's on the one hand simple, but the concept is interesting, so I also liked it. And only after video recording I remembered about several more cafes which I would like to tell about because they are also nice. So I'll add it now with off-screen narration. The first one cafe is Indian. It's called Kashmir. It's super small. I think there are hardly can be more than 10 tables. I think 7 or 10, something like this. But it's super authentic, really nice. The atmosphere is cool. The food is very tasty. It's vegetarian, not vegan, but vegetarian. And yeah, I think I like it even more than tandoori, the first one. But the thing is that it's small and vegetarian, so if you're okay with that, I really recommend you to visit it. The next cafe is located just on the same street with Kashmir. It's a Viking-style bar. It's called Skial, and also the atmosphere there is quite cool. And I can tell you just that I've been there when I was a vegan and I don't drink alcohol, and even with this I felt quite good in this Viking bar because yeah, it's really cool. And also if you are interested in this topic, or even not really interested but just feel curious, I also can recommend you to visit it. The next one is also located not so far. It's called Bari Cafe, and actually I would recommend it only for its unusual desserts too. So each dessert has got its own concept, and actually when the waiter brings it to you, it's like a little, maybe not a show, but maybe a little like excursion, a little story about the dessert. Some of them have like Instagram presentation, some of them not, but they all are very conceptual and interesting. So only for desserts I would like to recommend this place to you. And the last restaurant is called Wine and Dine. It's actually, they call themselves a wine bar, but as I don't drink alcohol, I can't tell anything about the wine. But I really loved this place. It's a bit posh, but actually I felt quite comfortable there. The food was really tasty. The cuisine there is Mediterranean, but this is my favorite cuisine, so I'm absolutely okay with that. And yeah, the place is nice. It's located on the same subway station where Petersburg Cathedral is located and the Museum of the Political History, but a little bit aside, maybe 15 minutes walk by foot. but it's located on the embankment, so also it's possible to walk there or something. And also I really like the interior, the stuff, the food, so also can recommend it. So I think for now that's it, that's what I remembered. And I hope that anyway this video will be interesting for you. If you want, if it's interesting for you too, I also can make a small video about maybe like alternative places in St. Petersburg I like, so not touristic at all. But I don't know if these places are interesting for tourists, because it's me and my husband, we love to go to some crazy places which are not normal people usually don't go there. So if you want, I can do this. If you don't want, then I won't. So thank you anyway very much for watching. I wanted to also to tell a great thank you for all your nice and kind words you wrote me, you text me. I want to tell you that I created this channel because firstly, I always had a dream to have some foreign friends, or one friend, and I imagined how these friends can come to me, for example, or just I have a conversation with this friend, we keep in touch, and I tell them about Russian culture, Russian language, or if these friends come to me, I can show them some places in Russia, we can go to different cities, I can show them my place, and that's why I also wanted to be a tour guide for foreigners. Just the year when COVID started, I wanted to get my license. Luckily, I didn't. I haven't got it because it would be just a waste of money, because first COVID, then sanctions, and yeah. So this channel is actually like a window for me. I don't know how to say it in English. So thank you very much for your interest, and I think now I'm going to start to cry. I don't want. So anyway, thank you. I just mean that it means a lot for me that you watch and you comment and all your nice words. So the time now is pretty tough for me, but I'm happy that I can give something to you, and you it helps you somehow also, and you can give some feedback to me. It's really helpful for me now. So I don't want to finish on some negative, sad note. So I just wanted to say thank you, and it means a lot to me. So thank you very much for watching. I hope to see you. Well, I won't see you, you see me. I mean, I hope to keep you in touch with in the next videos, in the comments. So thank you, and пока-пока.